The WWE is setting up The Rock to face Cody Rhodes head-on. Rhea Ripley quits Raw. Dominik Mysterio's wife Marie Juliette speaks out. Jey Uso has something to say about Naomi flipping the script. Brock Lesnar's future with WWE just hit a rough patch. A sinister plan to put Logan Paul out of action with injury. Triple H quietly taking a former United States champion off WWE TV until WrestleMania 41. Roman Reigns name-dropped in a major criticism. Why John Cena is set to win at WrestleMania 41. Let's dive right in. Rhea Ripley quits Raw. The next episode of Raw on Netflix is heading to Madison Square Garden, a place steeped in WWE history. It's shaping up to be a massive night with huge moments and an epic steel cage showdown between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Here's what might be in store for this week's show, with some juicy twists and turns that'll keep fans buzzing. Number 1, Big E might swoop in to rescue Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee are gearing up to take on the New Day in a tag match this week. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods have already jumped the legendary 619 master once before, and now Rey's got a shot to even the score. But here's where it gets wild. Picture this. The match is rolling, and suddenly Big E's music hits. The crowd loses it as the former WWE champion storms down the ramp. He's been kicked out of the New Day after Kofi and Xavier turned their backs on him, and everyone's been waiting for his big comeback. Maybe Rey's getting pounded in the ring, or the New Day tries a sneaky beatdown after the bell. That's when Big E charges in, muscles flexing, to save the day. It'd be the perfect spark to kick off a red-hot rivalry with his old crew, just in time for WrestleMania season. Number 2, Rhea Ripley might quit Raw as part of the storyline. Rhea Ripley's world got flipped upside down last week when she lost the Women's World Championship to Sky. What stung even more? Bianca Belair was right there at ringside, throwing off Rhea's focus and costing her the gold. Imagine this week on Raw, Rhea stomps out to the ring, her face a mix of anger and heartbreak. She grabs a mic and spills her guts. How she's fed up, how she feels betrayed, and how she's done with the red brand. In a shocking twist, she declares she's walking away from Raw, leaving the crowd stunned. This could be WWE's way of giving Rhea a break from TV until WrestleMania 41, setting her up for a monster return afterward. When she comes back, she'd have her sights locked on Bianca, ready to settle the score with the EST in a clash for the ages. Number 3, Adam Pearce might keep Gunther away from Jey Uso's match. Jey Uso's stepping into the ring with Grayson Waller this week, and it's gonna be a banger. But here's the catch. Gunther's looming in the background, with his WrestleMania showdown against Jey already locked in. The ring general's the type to stick his nose where it doesn't belong, and he might try to mess with Jey's match. Picture Adam Pearce, Raw's no-nonsense boss, stepping in before the bell rings. He announces that Gunther's banned from ringside. No excuses, no exceptions. The fans cheer as Jey gets a fair shot to shine, dodging any chaos from the champ. It'd let the match play out clean and keep the heat building for their Mania collision. Number 4, Karrion Kross might take Finn Balor's spot in the Judgment Day. Last week, eagle-eyed fans caught Dominik Mysterio whispering with Karrion Kross backstage, and the rumor mill's been churning ever since. Could the creepy powerhouse be joining the Judgment Day? Here's how it might go down. Finn Balor's in the ring, barking orders like usual, when Dominik struts out with Karrion by his side. The crowd gasps as Dom reveals he's swapping Finn for Kross. No discussion needed. Finn's furious, maybe even throws a punch, but Karrion lays him out cold. The Judgment Day's got a new vibe now, and Finn's left on the outside looking in. It'd stir up all kinds of drama in the group, paving the way for Finn to break away and strike back down the line. Number 5, a heel Becky Lynch could return to WWE Raw and cost CM Punk. The steel cage match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins is the night's main event, and it's personal. Last week, Punk fired shots in a promo, dragging Becky Lynch into it by telling her to leash Seth before Punk puts him down for good. Becky hit back on X with a spicy reply she later scrubbed, hinting she's got something brewing. Imagine this. The cage door slams shut, Punk's got the upper hand, and then, bam, Becky's music blares. She's back, but not as the hero fans remember. With a wicked grin, she slides into the chaos, maybe distracting Punk or slipping Seth a weapon through the bars. Punk goes down, Seth steals the win, and Becky stands tall with her husband, now a full-on villain. It'd be a jaw-dropping way to bring her back, flipping the script and giving Seth his payback moment. Dominik Mysterio's wife, Marie Juliette, speaks out. Picture this. Dominik Mysterio and Marie Juliette, a couple who've been tight since they were teens, just hit their first wedding anniversary. They tied the knot on March 6th, 2024, with big WWE names like Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest cheering them on at the ceremony. Dominik's a key player in the Judgment Day crew, and on TV, he's tangled up with Liv Morgan, one half of the women's tag team champs. Before her, he had a wild storyline with Rhea Ripley, but last year at SummerSlam, he turned his back on Rhea to side with Liv. Off-screen, though, Dominik and Marie keep things low-key. They don't spill much about their love life online, so it was a big deal when they both posted on Instagram stories to celebrate their one-year milestone, a rare peek into their world together. In WWE, Dominik and Liv Morgan have become the couple everyone's talking about. The drama peaked at SummerSlam when Dominik, known as Dirty Dom, ditched Rhea Ripley and planted a kiss on Liv, helping her keep the Women's World Championship. Later, in a chat with Chris Van Vliet, the 27-year-old opened up about how Marie handles his crazy on-screen antics. He explained that she gets the wrestling game and doesn't sweat the wild stuff he does for work. Plus, he shared their little aftermatch routine. Dominik said, "She's cool with it, surprisingly, yeah. She's honestly been super cool. She's my ride or die. We've been together since we were 14. So as long as I let her know, hey, this is what's going to go down, she's like, all right, cool. She honestly never gives me a hard time. I've said it before, but when Rhea licked me that one time, and even after the kiss with Liv, her first text to me, because I always text her after a match or anything, hey honey, just finished. All good, all safe, just so she knows. Usually she'll always text me back. Oh, okay, good. See you soon. Love you." Fast forward to the latest Raw, where Dominik and his Judgment Day squad had a tense standoff with Braun Breaker. Things got heated, but Dominik proved he's got Finn Balor's back, diving in just in time to save him from a brutal spear as Breaker charged. It's clear Marie's got a guy who's all about loyalty, whether it's at home or in the ring. Jey Uso has something to say about Naomi flipping the script. Last night on SmackDown, Naomi dropped a bombshell that's got everyone talking. After Elimination Chamber, she turned heads with a total attitude shift, and fans are still picking their jaws up off the floor. Jey Uso, the Raw star with family ties to Naomi, didn't hold back. He fired off a quick 6-word message to her today. Picture the scene. Naomi steps into the ring, the air heavy with tension, and spills her guts. She admits she's the one who took out Jade Cargill in a sneaky backstage attack back in November. Her reason? She says she was shielding Bianca Belair from Jade, who she claims was just riding Bianca's coattails. The crowd's buzzing as Bianca, the EST, hears this and starts crying, her heart breaking right there. She's done, walks away from Naomi, ending their tag team days. Naomi tries to say sorry, but Bianca's not having it and storms off. That's when Naomi snaps, yelling at her ex-partner for ditching her, calling her ungrateful. Then, out of nowhere, Jade Cargill rolls up, furious, and charges the ring to beat Naomi down all over again. This morning, Jey Uso hopped on Instagram stories and hit Naomi with a wild line. "Sometimes you gotta crash out, sis." Over on Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge's latest Bro Down Live, former WWE head writer Vince Russo chimed in, scratching his head about how it all played out. He reckoned WWE missed a trick by not letting Jade be the one to call Naomi out. He said, "There's just so many little nuances and things that they don't tell us about. I mean, bro, cause you could have told that same story with Jade saying it was Naomi. Then you really had a story with Naomi, saying it wasn't her. After that chaos on SmackDown, it's pretty much a lock that Naomi and Jade are on a collision course for WrestleMania 41. Sparks are gonna fly." Meanwhile, Bianca's got her eyes on the prize, stepping up to face Sky for the Women's World Championship, now that Sky's taken the title off Rhea Ripley. What a night. What a story. Brock Lesnar's future with WWE just hit a rough patch. It's been a while since we last saw the Beast on WWE TV. SummerSlam 2023 to be exact. That's when he took on Cody Rhodes in a brutal match that wrapped up their rivalry, with Cody coming out on top. But since then, Brock's been nowhere near the ring, and it all ties back to a messy legal fight. In January 2024, a woman named Janelle Grant shook up the wrestling world by filing a lawsuit against Vince McMahon, the former WWE Big Boss. Brock didn't get a direct name drop in the first version of that lawsuit, but fans and insiders figured he was the mystery wrestler hinted at. WWE's kept him off the air ever since, with no whispers of a comeback. Now, as WrestleMania 41 creeps closer, a fresh report from Ringside News is pouring cold water on any hopes of seeing him back in action. They're saying Brock's stuck on the sidelines until this legal mess gets sorted out. No return in sight until then. On a recent episode of Sportskeeda Wrestling's Writing with Russo, former WCW champ Vince Russo weighed in with a blunt take. He pointed out that WWE's roster is stacked with huge names right now, so Brock's absence isn't leaving a big hole. Russo reckons the company's doing just fine without him and might not rush to bring him back. He said, also, let's face it, they WWE don't need need him Lesnar now. If they were in a position where they needed him, I think it would look a lot differently. They don't need him now. WWE's been on fire lately, even without Brock in the mix. The Rock and John Cena are back, teaming up as bad guys this time, and that alone promises WrestleMania 41 will be loaded with star power. Add in heavy hitters like CM Punk and Roman Reigns, who are bound to have big-time matches, and it's clear the show's not hurting for excitement. Brock's still a legend, but right now, it looks like his WWE story's on hold, and fans might have to wait a long time to see the Beast step back into the squared circle. A sinister plan to put Logan Paul out of action with injury. A WWE star's got a wild idea brewing, and it's all about wrecking Logan Paul on the next Raw. Karrion Kross dropped a hint on X, spilling his plan just before AJ Styles and Logan square off on the Monday Night Show. WWE's been hyping this moment big time on social media. AJ, the former champ everyone loves, is set to call out Logan Paul on the red brand. Fans are already buzzing, thinking this could lead to an epic clash at WrestleMania 41 between the two. Kross, though, wants to stir the pot. He posted on X about twisting AJ's arm, figuratively for now, to unleash a savage attack on Logan, mirroring how Naomi ambushed Jade Cargill a while back. He wrote, "Thinking about convincing AJ to do to Logan what Naomi did to Cargill this Monday. Is everyone okay with that?" Meanwhile, Braun Breaker, the current Intercontinental champ, sat down with puberty and tossed out some names he'd love to tangle with at WrestleMania. He's got big plans, and he didn't hold back. Here's what he said. "This year, with the way things have been going recently here, I think AJ Styles would be a great choice for me. I think Penta is another one who, if him and I had a match, I think we would do some great things. There's a lot up in the air right now as to who I could face at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre's another one, where we could do something. We'll just have to see." AJ Styles is a fan favorite, a guy the WWE crowd can't get enough of. Logan Paul? He's the total opposite. Booed every time he steps out, the guy fans love to hate. Picture it. Raw rolls around, the tension's thick, and AJ's staring down Logan. Will Karrion Kross get in AJ's head and turn this into a beatdown for the ages? We'll find out soon enough who comes out on top in this showdown. Triple H quietly taking a former United States champion off WWE TV until WrestleMania 41. This week, SmackDown threw fans for a loop when LA Knight snatched the United States Championship back from Shinsuke Nakamura in a jaw-dropping main event. The megastar's big win left the WWE Universe buzzing, but now all eyes are on what's next for the Japanese star. With his title gone, Shinsuke's got no obvious fight lined up on SmackDown as WrestleMania 41 creeps closer, just weeks away now. That's got people whispering that Triple H might hush-hush pull him off TV until the big show. Think about it. Nakamura's got no one to tangle with, and WWE probably won't just toss him into a rerun match with LA Knight for the show of shows. They'll want something bigger, flashier for WrestleMania, right? So, it's starting to feel like Triple H could quietly bench the former champ until the grandest stage of them all hits. Here's the kicker. Shinsuke's been stuck in a rut for months, and it's been tough to watch. The way WWE's been handling him lately has killed any steam he had going into WrestleMania season. Imagine this. Instead of keeping him spinning his wheels, Triple H decides to let him vanish from the screen for a bit. Then, after Mania, he brings Nakamura back with a fresh spark, ready to shine as a solo star again. Next week's SmackDown could spill the beans on what's up. If the King of Strong Style storms out and goes after LA Knight, maybe with a surprise attack, then boom, he's likely locked in for WrestleMania 41. But if he's a no-show, that's a pretty big hint he might be sitting out the biggest night of the year. Fans online are already grumbling about how Nakamura's been treated since he won the US title, with some even calling it the weakest reign Triple H's creative team has ever cooked up. When Shinsuke held that belt, it was like he was drifting. No real enemies, no big showdowns. Week after week, we'd get a quick video of him or a short moment on the show, but nothing that built up to a proper fight with anyone on SmackDown. And let's be real, his whole time as champ didn't give us a single moment worth remembering. It's the kind of reign that'll fade from fans' minds in no time flat as the months roll on. Roman Reigns name-dropped in a major criticism. WWE's riding high as WrestleMania 41 approaches, and John Cena flipping to the dark side is a huge reason why. His heel turn at Elimination Chamber has everyone buzzing. It's a game changer over 20 years in the making, setting the stage for a massive showdown with Cody Rhodes in Las Vegas. But not everyone's cheering. Wrestling old-timer Vince Russo's got a bone to pick, saying WWE's dropping the ball big time with its stories, even with all this hype. On Sportskeeda Wrestling's Writing with Russo, the ex-WWE head writer let loose. He was steamed that Cena didn't even show up on the Raw right after Elimination Chamber, and then he pointed a finger at Roman Reigns too. Where's the tribal chief on this road to WrestleMania? Russo didn't hold back. No, bro, it's not fine, but Chris, Featherstone, they don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter. Bro, if they cared, you think Roman Reigns would not be on the the show right now, they don't care. How many times we're gonna say the check's been cashed? Russo's got a theory about where this is all heading. On that same episode, he laid out why he thinks Cena's heel run is far from over, and it's bad news for Cody Rhodes. He figures WWE's got all the pieces lined up for Cena to crush the American Nightmare at WrestleMania 41. Why John Cena is set to win at WrestleMania 41. WrestleMania 41 is almost here, and John Cena's the name on everyone's lips. Wrestling veteran Vince Russo's betting on Cena beating Cody Rhodes, and he's got a clear reason why. That heel turn at Elimination Chamber? It was a shocker, maybe the wildest moment in wrestling in years. It's cranked up the hype for WrestleMania, with fans dying to see how Cena and Cody's big clash plays out. Lots of people are rooting for the American Nightmare to come out on top, but Russo's got a hunch that's not in the cards. On Sportskeeda Wrestling's Writing with Russo, the former WWE head writer spilled his thoughts. He says Triple H and the creative crew have a golden chance to keep this blockbuster feud rolling if Cena wins. Here's how he put it. Now, they need so much content, and you are going to lose out on a lot of content if you do that book John Cena to lose. Bro, you know better than anybody. They are in the business of stretching things out. So that's why, they are going to milk this and stretch this out as long as they possibly can, man. My opinion. Just my opinion. But Russo's not all cheers. He's got a gripe, too. On Sportskeeda Wrestling's Bro Down with host Mac Davis, he argued that WWE dropped the ball on making Cena's heel turn feel real. He thinks they should have had reporters chasing down Cena and The Rock for their take after Elimination Chamber, even if they're off shooting movies. Russo laid it out like this. If this were real, we're not going to try to get a word from Rock and John Cena, even if they're away doing their movies. Part of the story should be, we're trying to get a word with them. They've not commented to this point. But again, man, if you want us to believe this is real, how are you not attempting to track down those guys to get their comments? So, while Cena's heel vibe has the wrestling world buzzing, Russo sees a big win at WrestleMania 41 as the key to keeping the fire burning, and he's not afraid to call out where WWE could have done better. B is setting up The Rock to face Cody Rhodes head-on. The last few weeks have lit a fire under the road to WrestleMania 41, and things are getting hotter by the day. A wrestling old-timer thinks The Rock's about to jump into the ring with Cody Rhodes, and it could happen sooner than we think. Vince Russo, a seasoned voice in the game, recently shared his take on where WWE's stories are headed after WrestleMania 41. Right now, The Rock's not locking horns with Cody himself, but he's the one who flipped John Cena into a bad guy, setting up Cena to battle the American Nightmare at the Big Show. On Sportskeeda Wrestling's Writing with Russo, the former WWE head writer spilled his prediction. A massive showdown between Cody and the final boss is coming next year. Here's what he said. I think next year they're gonna do Cody and Rock. I think that's gonna be next year's story. I think he will win it, but he will lose it somewhere along the way, because if he's being honest with his last year run, they're gonna have to turn him back babyface before. Russo's also got thoughts on another legend crashing the party. He reckons Ric Flair might wiggle into John Cena's storyline down the road. But on an episode of Bro Down with host Mac Davis, Russo wasn't thrilled about the Nature Boy coming back at 76 years old. He sounded off. God, Ric Flair is throwing so much bait out there to be a part of this. Come on, there's gotta be a cutoff point when we move on from people. And 80 is probably a good point. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but 80 is probably the point where we need to move on from people. But I would not be the least bit surprised if we saw him. So, while The Rock's pulling strings behind Cena's big fight, it looks like WWE's got a blockbuster clash with Cody Rhodes simmering, and maybe even a wild card like Flair waiting in the wings.